Paul Gambaccini for his regular pop spot, and his guest this week is Steve Strange.
Indeed, it's Pop's Pied Piper of Pose, Steve Strange.
What a way with words you've got.
The host of the Camden Palace, where I journeyed Thursday night to celebrate the first birthday with well over 1,000 people. And I couldn't help but marvel that for the past half-decade or so, Steve's been the host of these venues. Only the site changes. The population remains the same. It's the young, the trendy perhaps. They want to see and be seen with all the stars. And Steve's own visual sense, his sense of dress, has helped bring them in a variety of gear. Steve, what is it that's drawing all of these kids now for well over 5 years?
I think it's a lot to do with, well, the palace, with the place itself. I mean, there wasn't that much to do with it because the place was another channel's theatre, and the sound system and the light show that we've got there, we've just been voted best club in Europe and Britain. But overall, it's the people themselves what make the atmosphere. And like as you've seen on Thursday night, which was our anniversary, we have a different theme every night of the week, whereas I think other London clubs, they run for 6 months and they're fed the same formula, but our themes change all the time. And like Tuesday night is called Slum It in Style and the music is very underground. Wednesday night is Rockabilly Swing. Thursday night is called Heroes, and Friday and Saturday is like your jazz, funk, disco crowd. But whereas other London nightclubs, they just play the same music every night, and you know, I think people get fed up of the same formula.
Well, you yourself, you're always there on Thursday nights. You never look the same. I remember taking my brother and his wife once, just as a laugh, to your club Blitz, to show them, who are super straight, what it was like in London's nightlife. And you were dressed up in a costume that reminded me of a Greek archbishop. Now, you never look the same. Where do you get the ideas, and how much time does it take, even today, to make up like this?
About half an hour. The ideas, I used to like create a character for the music with the songs that I was doing with Visage, for instance. You'll see a clip, I think you're going to play a clip from The Pleasure Boys, which the song is about sort of rebels and motorbikes. And although I don't want to go around in sort of something like Marlon Brando, The Wild Ones, but the film was based on that. But I used to adapt in a character and then sort of live out that role, which I really don't do anymore. But I mean, I don't know, the ideas just come to me with the music, I suppose.
Well, where do you get the idea for this rig from, then?
From Paris. Terry Mugler.
Well, sort of Sherlock Holmes or something, with leg warmers round your hands?
Yeah, no, these are from Japan.
Well, we're going to see, first off, a clip from a David Bowie song. We're going to see a clip from a David Bowie song, and it was important, I think, to your credibility that David Bowie dropped in on your club, Blitz, to check out what was happening, because he was the ace trendsetter of the 70s. Everybody wanted to see what he was doing, and he wanted to see what you were doing. We'll see this clip. It's called Ashes to Ashes, and it's a #1 for Bowie. And after that, we'll ask how you got involved in this and what relationship you had with him. Well, did you spot Steve Strange in that video? We did. How did you get asked into that one?
It happened when Bowie used to come to the Blitz quite often, and I think a lot of young bands get a lot of stick by saying that they copied David, but it's not necessarily true because Bowie's a very clever thief, but who isn't? When he came to the Blitz, I mean, all the credit in that video was taken from the Blitz, where it was very much a Pierre, very much theatrical makeup and the Piero look, but all the clothes in that video was created by a lot of the people that went to the Blitz, and he got all the credit for it, whereas a lot of young bands get stick for doing that.
I think this was Bowie's genius, is that he's always in touch with the fringe, and he presents it to the general public
because
2 minutes before everybody else.
As well.
That's right.
And he's always checking it out.
Ironically, only a few months after that went to #1 in this country, you and your group Visage went to #1 in Germany for 8 weeks. Now, we're going to show a clip of this song, Fade to Grey, and then we're going to ask you why Fade to Grey caught on so much with the Germans to be #1 for 2 months. I always thought, Steve, that maybe the reason that caught on so much in Germany was because it is the electronic sound. Of course, Kraftwerk, who pioneered that, come from Germany. What was the reason you thought it was such a big hit over there?
I don't think it was anything to do with the TV film, which I did before the record, which was a disaster, but after that it seemed to take off. It took about 2 months for it, and it just took off in a big way. But in Germany, there's a lot of nightclub scene, whereas the music from Visage is what we created to be played at nightclubs. And I think that's how it took off there. And it's also, it's got, you know, it's got that commercial sound anyway, which people seem to like and hear it on the radio.
You, as the singer of Visage, front an assembly of talents, which sometimes changes in membership. Where is this group going to go musically now?
At the moment, we're going through a bit of a bad time with management and changing management, so we're recording a new album at the moment, and it should be coming out, hopefully, in about 3 months. A new single should be coming out in about a month or 6 weeks' time, but it's got much more heavier, whereas before it was a lot to do with computers and synthesizers. Now it's more like, you know, it's got much more aggressive and much more heavier, and concentrating to working on as a live act with, you know, like live guitar, drums and bass. I know that sounds funny, but it was all used before on machines.
I'd like to ask you if you enjoy doing the videos, because we're going to show a sequence from Pleasure Boys now in which you are on a bike, a motorbike, and I understand that you actually yourselves had never been on a motorbike before that, so let's just watch this one and then I'll ask you what the experience was like. Again, a changing image, something you've always done visually, and that was chosen as one of the top 20 videos of last year. Michael will remember we've been showing some from those top 20.
You seem to like that, tapping along.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I've got the beat. It's the clothes I like, Steve. I've got the rhythm.
Yes, but you hadn't been a motorbike rider before, had you?
No, I don't even drive a car. The first time I sat in a car, I went straight through a brick wall. So I thought it was being put in reverse and somebody put it into first gear.
Oh, dear.
Paul, can I just ask, it interests me as a middle-aged square, what's the purpose of the rig and the music? Is it fun? Is that the thing?
Yeah, it's something that I do every day. I mean, if it was a chore, I wouldn't be doing it. But when we started with Visage and the videos, it was, you know, instead of it being a straight, like, rock and roll band, just the term rock and roll, we wanted to be a bit more entertaining. Like, if you look at our videos, to me, they're like mini-movies.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just a little bit more time and effort goes into them and creating, which is more entertainment. And people do want to be entertained, and that's what we're giving them.
Now, all right, somebody's concerned about style and modern style. What about this building here? Because it's had its share of critics and people, and it's a very unusual-looking building designed by Terry Farrell. What do you think about it?
Well, if it wasn't so near to home, i.e. the Camden Palace, I wouldn't mind it for my new nightclub.
It might be an offer for your new nightclub. But one or two staff here, we'll come with you, won't we, lads? No problem. Mr. Aitken can be the doorman. Oh, no problem at all.
You can turn people away like Steve does at the Palace.
Steve Strange, thanks a lot for joining us this morning.
Great,
Thank you very much indeed. You certainly brightened up the place, that is for sure. Paul, thank you. We'll see you again next week.
Of course.
Mary, we have some more guests waiting, yes?
Absolutely. I'm in the kitchen drinking tea with Ben Vereen, who we're going to talk to again in a moment. And we've been joined by Ben Kingsley, who's just won an Oscar for his part as Gandhi.
You're with a brace of Bens. That's the collective term for Bens. It's a brace of Bens.
What better? Anyway, you'll be able to join me soon after this break and see more of them.